I got the email about the baby shower while I was folding onesies in the nursery. It was a forwarded message from my sister-in-law, Claire, with a pastel-colored invitation attached. Join us to celebrate Emily and baby Grayson. Saturday 2 p.m., the garden loft. My name is Emily, 34 years old, 7 months pregnant with my first child. My husband, Mark, was at work, managing the auto shop he'd built from nothing. The email was polite, professional even, but something about it felt off. The subject line read, "Let's make this special for you." Claire's note was short, "I've got everything handled. Just show up and be the star." I read it twice, then closed my laptop. My gut was already whispering trouble. Claire had been part of our lives since Mark and I got married 5 years ago. She was his older sister, 38, single, a real estate agent with a smile that could sell you a condemned house. She was charming when she wanted to be, but I'd learned early on that her warmth came with strings. Mark adored her, called her his rock from their tough childhood with an alcoholic dad and a mom who checked out early. I tried to love her for his sake, but Claire made it hard. Small things at first, backhanded compliments about my cooking, forgetting to invite me to family dinners, whispering to Mark that I wasn't pulling my weight when I was working 50-hour weeks as a graphic designer. I let it slide, kept the peace, because Mark deserved a family that didn't fight. But 6 months ago, when we announced the pregnancy, something shifted. Claire's smiles got tighter, her comments sharper. At a family barbecue, she'd said, "Oh, Emily, motherhood's going to be such a change for you. Hope you're ready to give up your little hobbies." My freelance design work wasn't a hobby, it paid half our mortgage, but I just nodded and sipped my lemonade. Mark didn't hear it, too busy grilling. Later, when I told him, he laughed it off. "That's just Claire being Claire. She's protective, you know?" I didn't push it. Mark was my anchor, the kind of man who'd stay up all night fixing a stranger's car for free. I wasn't going to make him choose between me and his sister. The baby shower invitation should have been a red flag, but I was too tired to see it. Pregnancy had me nauseous, achy, and juggling client deadlines from our spare bedroom. When Claire offered to plan the shower, I was relieved. My mom lived in Arizona, Mark's mom was gone, and my friends were scattered across the country. Claire had the connections, the energy, the local network. "Let me do this for you," she'd said over coffee a month ago, her manicured nails tapping the table. "You focus on growing that baby." I thanked her, ignored the way her eyes lingered on my belly a little too long, and handed over the guest list. Big mistake. The day of the shower, I woke up feeling heavy, not just from the pregnancy but from a nagging sense that something wasn't right. Mark kissed me before heading to the shop. "Have fun today, babe. Claire's got this." I forced a smile, pulled on a flowy blue dress that didn't pinch my swollen ankles, and drove to the garden loft, a chic venue downtown with fairy lights and exposed brick. I arrived at 1:45 p.m., expecting to see Claire setting up, maybe a few early guests. The place was empty. No balloons, no tables, no sign of a party. Just a confused barista at the coffee counter who said, "We don't have any events booked today." I called Claire. Straight to voicemail. Texted her, "Hey, I'm at the venue. Where are you?" No response. My phone buzzed with a text from my friend Jess, who was supposed to be on the guest list. Got a weird email saying the shower's cancelled. "You okay?" "Cancelled?" I hadn't cancelled anything. My stomach churned, and it wasn't the baby. I opened my email and found a message sent from my own account, one I hadn't written, timestamped last night. "Sorry, everyone, the baby shower is off. Family emergency. Thanks for understanding." It went to every name on the guest list, my friends, Mark's coworkers, even my mom. The email was signed Emily. I stood in the empty venue, my hands shaking. Claire had access to my laptop. I'd left it open on the kitchen table 2 days ago when she came over to go over shower details. She'd been alone in the room for maybe 10 minutes while I was in the bathroom. 10 minutes was enough. I called Mark, my voice steady even though I wanted to scream. Claire canceled the shower. She sent an email from my account. He was quiet for a long time, then said, "There's gotta be a mistake. Let me call her." He hung up. I waited in my car, staring at the venue's blank windows, feeling like an idiot for trusting her. Mark called back 20 minutes later. Claire said it was a misunderstanding. She thought you wanted to cancel because you were feeling overwhelmed. She's sorry, Em. She's at the house now, wants to talk. Misunderstanding? I drove home, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. When I walked into our living room, Claire was there, perched on the couch, her face all concern. "Emily, I'm so sorry," she said, standing to hug me. I stepped back. "You used my email. You canceled my baby shower." Her eyes widened, like she was shocked I'd accuse her. "I was trying to help. You've been so stressed, and I thought you didn't want the pressure. I must have misread things." Mark was behind her, looking torn. She didn't mean any harm." I wanted to believe him, wanted to believe this was just Claire being overzealous, but my gut said otherwise. The way she'd phrased the email, the way she'd made it sound like I was the one backing out, it was too deliberate. I looked at her, at the faint smirk she couldn't quite hide, and said, "We're done here." I walked upstairs, locked the bedroom door, and sat on the bed, cradling my belly. Grayson kicked, a small reminder of what mattered. I wasn't going to let Claire ruin this. That night, I couldn't sleep. Mark tried to talk, but I wasn't ready. "I need time," I told him. He nodded, slept on the couch. I opened my laptop and checked the email's metadata, something I'd learned from a cybersecurity course for work. The email had been sent from our home IP address at 11:47 p.m., when I was already in bed. Claire had been over that evening, helping with shower plans. I also found a deleted draft in my trash folder, a test email she'd written to herself first, probably to make sure it looked authentic. Sloppy, Claire. Very sloppy. The next morning, I acted like everything was fine. Made Mark coffee, kissed him goodbye, smiled when he said, "We'll fix this, Em." But I was already planning. Claire didn't just cancel a party. She humiliated me, alienated my friends, and tried to make me look unstable right before I became a mother. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was sabotage, and I wasn't going to let it slide. My dad, a retired cop, always said, "Don't start fights, but know how to end them." I wasn't going to scream or confront her. I was going to be smarter. First, I secured my digital life. Changed every password, email, bank accounts, cloud storage. Enabled two-factor authentication. Backed up my client files to an external drive I locked in a safe. Claire wasn't getting near my systems again. Then I called Jess, my closest friend, who'd been skeptical of Claire from the start. "She's always been jealous of you," Jess said over the phone. "Mark's got a stable life, a kid on the way, and she's stuck flipping houses and chasing validation. This was her trying to knock you down." Jess offered to help, and I took her up on it. "Spread the word quietly," I said. "The shower's back on, but don't tell Claire. I'll handle the venue." I booked a new place, a cozy community center with a garden patio, for 2 weeks later. Paid for it with my own money, didn't touch the joint account Claire knew about. I'd opened a separate savings account a year ago, after Claire borrowed $2,000 from us and never paid it back. Mark didn't know about the account, not because I didn't trust him, but because I didn't trust her influence over him. I invited the original guest list, plus a few of Mark's coworkers who'd always been kind to me. I told everyone to keep it quiet, said I wanted it to be a surprise for Mark. Really, I was keeping Claire in the dark. But that was just the start. Canceling the shower was bad, but I needed to know why Claire had done it, how far she'd go. I remembered something from a year ago, when she'd accidentally posted a photo of me on her Instagram, one where I looked exhausted after a long workday, captioned, "Poor Emily, always so busy." She'd deleted it after I called her out, but not before her 3,000 followers saw it. That was when I started suspecting she wasn't just thoughtless, she was calculated. I did some digging. Claire's real estate business was her pride, but I'd heard rumors from Mark's cousin that she was struggling. I checked public records online, something I'd learned from designing websites for small businesses. Claire's company, Claire Coleman Properties, had 3 lawsuits pending, 2 for unpaid contractor fees, 1 for a botched home sale where she'd allegedly misrepresented the property. Her business license was also flagged for unpaid taxes. Interesting. I saved screenshots, downloaded the court filings, and emailed them to myself from a burner account I created. Never know when you'll need leverage. Then I got a tip from Jess, who'd been asking around. "You know Claire's been telling people you're unstable because of the pregnancy?" Jess said. "She told Mark's coworker Sarah that you canceled the shower because you're not ready to be a mom." That hit hard. I'd had a miscarriage 2 years ago, something only Mark, my mom, and Claire knew about. Claire had been supportive then, or so I thought, but now I wondered if she'd been filing away my pain for later use. I thanked Jess, hung up, and added Sarah to my mental list. Sarah was sweet but gossipy. If Claire was spreading lies, Sarah was the megaphone. A week before the rescheduled shower, I got a text from Claire, "Heard you're planning something behind my back." Not cool, Emily. My heart skipped. How did she know? I hadn't told Mark, hadn't told anyone who'd talked to her. I texted back, just focusing on the baby. No drama, please. She didn't respond, but I knew she was watching. I checked my laptop's login history, another trick from that cybersecurity course. Someone had tried to access it yesterday from an unfamiliar device. The IP didn't match our home network. Claire was getting bold. I decided to bait her. I left my laptop open on the kitchen counter, logged into a dummy email account I'd set up. The account had a fake guest list for the shower, with a different date and venue, a decoy. I also left a sticky note on the fridge with the real venue's phone number, but labeled it caterer. Claire came over that evening, supposedly to drop off a baby blanket she'd bought. "Just wanted to make things right," she said, her voice syrupy. I thanked her, played nice, then excused myself to rest. From the bedroom, I watched her through a baby monitor I'd set up in the living room, another precaution. Sure enough, she opened my laptop, clicked around, then jotted something down. "Got you." The day of the real shower arrived. I told Mark I was meeting Jess for lunch, to keep him out of it. The community center was perfect, wildflowers on the tables, a soft playlist, a cake with welcome, Grayson and blue icing. 30 people showed up, friends, coworkers, my mom, who'd flown in from Arizona. No Claire. The energy was warm, joyful. People brought gifts, shared stories, laughed. My mom hugged me and whispered, "You're going to be an incredible mom." For the first time in weeks, I felt whole. But Claire wasn't idle. Jess texted me mid-shower, "Claire just posted on Instagram. You need to see this." I opened the app on my phone. Claire had posted a photo of the decoy venue, an empty banquet hall, with the caption, "So sad Emily canceled her shower again. Pregnancy's been tough on her. Sending love." She'd tagged me, Mark, and half the guest list. Comments were already rolling in, "Oh no, is she okay? Poor Emily." My blood boiled, but I stayed calm. This was what I'd expected. I whispered to Jess, "Call the decoy venue. Tell them you're me and you're canceling the reservation Claire made." Jess nodded, stepped outside, and made the call. Meanwhile, I texted Sarah, Mark's coworker, "Hey, heard Claire's been saying I'm unstable. Can we talk?" Sarah replied instantly, "OMG, I'm so sorry. She told me you were having a breakdown. I didn't believe it. I screenshotted her response, forwarded it to my burner email. Another piece of the puzzle. That night, I came home to Mark, who was furious. Claire showed me her post. Did you really cancel another shower? I sat him down, showed him the photos from the real shower, the guest list, the cake. I didn't cancel anything. Claire's been lying. I showed him the email metadata, the laptop login attempts, the sticky note she'd copied. His face went pale. Why would she do this? I took his hand. She's jealous, Mark. Of us, of the baby, of what we're building. And she's in trouble, her business is failing. She's lashing out. He didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was undeniable. I'll talk to her, he said. I shook my head. Let me handle it. The next day, I met with a lawyer, Rachel, a friend of Jess's who specialized in civil cases. I brought everything, the court filings on Claire's business, the email metadata, Sarah's texts, screenshots of Claire's Instagram post. She's defaming you, Rachel said, flipping through the documents. And the unauthorized email access is a cybercrime. You've got a strong case. I leaned back. I don't just want a lawsuit. I want her to feel the consequences. Rachel smiled. Then let's get creative. We started with Claire's business. I tipped off a local journalist, anonymously, about the lawsuits against Claire Coleman Properties. The journalist dug deeper, found 2 more clients who'd been misled about property values. A week later, an article ran in the city paper, local realtor faces multiple lawsuits, tax evasion allegations. Claire's phone must have been ringing off the hook, angry clients, canceled deals. Her Instagram went silent. Next, I contacted the state real estate board, filed a formal complaint with the court filings and the journalist's article as evidence. Rachel helped me draft it, citing Claire's unethical conduct and pattern of misrepresentation. The board launched an investigation, and Claire's license was suspended pending review. I heard from Mark's cousin that she was scrambling, taking out loans to cover legal fees. But the real blow came at a family gathering I orchestrated 2 weeks later. I invited Mark's extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, to our house for a baby celebration. I told Claire it was a chance to clear the air. She showed up, all smiles, thinking she could charm her way back into Mark's good graces. What she didn't know was that I'd prepared a presentation. After dinner, I stood up, thanked everyone for coming, and said, I want to share something about the baby shower. Claire's smile faltered. I connected my laptop to the TV, pulled up a slideshow. Slide 1, the fake email she'd sent, with metadata proving it came from her. Slide 2, her Instagram post, juxtaposed with photos from the real shower. Slide 3, Sarah's texts confirming Claire's lies. Slide 4, the journalist's article and the real estate board's suspension notice. The room went silent. Claire's face was white. This is a misunderstanding, she stammered. I clicked to the final slide, a video from my baby monitor, showing her sneaking onto my laptop. Mark's uncle, a retired judge, spoke first. Claire, this is disgraceful. His wife, who'd always doted on Claire, shook her head. You owe Emily an apology. Claire tried to speak, but no one was listening. Mark stood, his voice low. You need to leave. She grabbed her purse, tears streaming, and walked out. The family hasn't spoken to her since. The fallout was swift. Claire's business collapsed without her license. She moved to a smaller apartment, sold her BMW. Mark kept contact, said he needed time to process her betrayal. I didn't gloat, didn't need to. Claire's own actions had built the trap, and I'd just pulled the lever. Grayson was born 3 weeks later, healthy, with Mark's eyes. The nursery was filled with gifts from the shower, reminders of the love that surrounded us. One evening, as I rocked Grayson to sleep, my phone buzzed. A text from Claire, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I stared at it, then deleted it. Some things don't need a response. A month later, I got a letter from one of Claire's former clients, a military wife whose home Claire had undervalued in a shady deal. Thank you for exposing her, she wrote. We got our money back because of your story. I pinned the letter to the fridge, next to Grayson's ultrasound photo. Some days, when the weight of it all came back, I'd look at that letter and know I'd done more than protect my family. I'd stopped a predator. Now, I'm finding my rhythm as a mom. Mark's rebuilding trust, slowly, and we're stronger for it. The house feels like ours again, no shadows lurking. Claire's out there somewhere, starting over, or so I hear. I don't wish her harm, but I don't care much either. She made her bed. I've got a son to raise, a life to live, and a future that's mine to shape. And no one, not even family, gets to sabotage that.